B comma C belongs to R, then A comma C belongs to R. If these three things are true, then we say that the relation R is an equivalence relation on A. That means every element has to be related to itself. If A is related to B, then B has to be related to A. Note that there is a sort of direction because these are ordered pairs. Okay, A comma B and B comma A are not equal unless A and B are the same things. And the third one, transitivity, says that if A is related to B and B is related to C, then A has to be related to C. Okay, then we will say that R is an equivalence relation on A. Instead of thinking of the relation R as a subset of A cross A, we can think of it as a means of relating two elements of A. Actually, that's what it's doing, right? This just means that A is being related to itself by the relation R. So we can write this to mean this. This symbol is more neat than this. This is interpreted as A is related to B by the relation R. Okay. In terms of this new notation, the conditions for an equivalence relation now change. Actually, they don't change, only the appearance changes. The conditions becomes this. A is related to A for every A belonging to A. This is reflexivity. I am not writing the names again. If A is related to B, then B is related to A. Symmetry and transitivity, and B is related to C, then A is related to C. Oh, I forgot to say about one thing. This I should have said when I said that A cross A has n square elements if A has n elements. After that I should have said this. Anyway, let us just see this. It's about a particular subset of A cross A. the subset A comma A such that A belongs to A of this Cartesian product is known as the diagonal of A. You can probably understand why this name has been given. You see, if A has say 3 objects, say 3 color names, or to make matters simple, let us take 2 objects, red and black. Then A cross A, the set A cross A has these ordered pairs, right? Black, red and black, black. Now you can write these elements in a tabular form, writing it like this, or should I say in a matrix form. Red, 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 black, black, red, black, black, where what you are doing is that along the row you have the first coordinates are coming from here, right? The second coordinates are also coming from A, but here you have red, black, red, black. So this is one set A, this is the other set A, and they are being combined to form this A cross A. So this is the diagonal. The diagonal consists of the leading diagonal of this matrix, if you know what I mean. The diagonal, if you look at the definition, it consists of those ordered pairs where the coordinates are the same. So in that sense, it is known as the diagonal. Suddenly, why we are saying diagonal of A cross A, that will become clear when we, okay, let me just keep it like this. I mean, if we ever need to mention about this particular set, we will just simply say diagonal, and we will understand what we mean for that. Let us now see some examples of equivalence relations. So the first example of section 1.1. So it is just the first one is very simple. In fact, the first one is the prototype for equivalence relation. It's ordinary equality. Let S be any set for any elements in S. We define this if, that is, we are defining A to be related to B if A is equal to B. Always keep in mind that in a definition, if means if and only if. So sometimes you see if, sometimes you see if and only if. Don't confuse yourself, they are the same thing. Okay, A is equal to B. So here you can see that this is obviously an equivalence relation. What you have to check that A is equal to A, which is true. If A is equal to B, then B is equal to A, which is also true, and the transitivity is also true. If A and B are same and B and C are same, then A and C also have to be same. It's easy to see that this is an equivalence relation on S. Then the next one, let S be the set of all integers for A and B in S. We define A is related to B if A minus B is even, if it's an even integer. So in this case, let us see how this is an equivalence relation. Note that for any A belonging to S, that is for any integer A is related to A because A minus A is 0 and this is even. Then for A and B belonging to S, if A minus B is even, then so is B minus A, because that is just the negative of A minus B. If A minus B say is 2, then B minus A is minus 2, so that is also even. So is B minus A. That is, if A is related to B, then B is related to A. So we have proved that for this relation, this relation is reflexive and symmetric. Finally, for 3 integers, assume A minus B and B minus C are both even. Now the sum of 2 even integers is also even, and their sum is nothing but A minus C is equal to A minus B plus B minus C, because B and minus B cancel each other, is even. So if A is related to B and B is related to C, then A is related to C. This shows that this relation tilde is an equivalence relation on the set of integers. Then the third example is a generalization of this. Let n greater than 1 be an integer and let S, as usual, let S be the set of integers. Okay, now we are going to define a relation. For A and B in S, we define A to be related to B if A minus B is a, I should write integer multiple, is an integer multiple of n. In other words, if n divides A minus B. Okay, now this, just like the previous one, can also be proved to be an equivalence relation. Why is this a generalization of the previous one? You see, here we needed A minus B to be even, but here we needed A minus B to be a multiple of 2, of n. Here A minus B being even just means that it's a multiple of 2. So that means if you take n is equal to 2, then this example becomes this one. So don't you think that these arguments will be exactly similar in this case? So this I leave to you. Okay, verify that the relation this is an equivalence relation on S. It's a very important equivalence relation. It has a name also. It's called congruence modulo n, and this is used all the time in number theory. In fact, we will also use it in many places. Okay, then a geometric example. This, you please do this part. Okay, now let S be the set of all triangles in the plane for A and B belonging to S. That means A and B are now two triangles in the plane, in the same plane. We define if A and B are similar, that is, they are similar triangles. If you recall from school level Euclidean geometry, two triangles are said to be similar if you can form a correspondence between their angles such that for one angle in one triangle there is another angle in the other triangle which are equal. Like that, you can pair them up. You will have, for example, if you have two right angle triangles, one angle is 90 degree, of course, because they are right angle. One angle is 30 degree and the other is 60 degree, then there also you will get one angle 30 degree, other angle 60 degree. Then they will be similar. Similar triangles are like this. If you change their distance from you, that can be adjusted so that they look what can how can I say this? Say these two triangles are similar. Roughly, if I move this triangle closer to me in this fashion, then this triangle will completely eclipse the other one at one point. that is similarity. And using properties of Euclidean geometry, you can easily show that this is an equivalence relation. You don't even have to use properties, you just use the definition of equivalence of two triangles, similarity of two triangles, then that will give you the fact that this is an equivalence relation. And lastly, another such example. So this example let S be the set of all points in the plane. On a plane surface, you have infinitely many points. The plane is unbounded it's unbounded in any direction. It has no boundary. On such a plane, the set, there are points, infinitely many points. The set of those points is S. So for 2 points, A and B, we define this: if A and B are equidistant from the origin, so that means it's not just simply a plane, it's a plane on which a set of perpendicular axes has been chosen so that there is an origin. So these 2 points are said to be related if they are equidistant from the origin, that is, their distances from the origin are equal. This also can be easily seen to be an equivalence relation. One can see that this is an equivalence relation on S, on the set of all points in the plane. Okay, now there is a very important definition that involves this equivalence relation, this concept, and the definition goes like this: let A be a set and tilt be an equivalence relation on A. The equivalence class of an element in A is defined to be the set of those elements X in A such that A is related to X. So basically, if you have a set A on which there is an equivalence relation, then you choose any element from A The equivalence class of that element is the set of all the elements that are equivalent to it or similar to it. Okay, so that is the equivalence class of A. We denote the equivalence class of A by this symbol CLA, that is class of A.